Okay, let's go over a suggestion I talked about briefly when you were saying, just wanted to make sure you can remember triads uh, on basically all the shapes we started with, right? So what you can do is just a refresher, like maybe like a part of a warm up thing that you do. So, I mean, let's see, we started with like everything starting on C. So if you want, you can start just go through those shapes just the way they were written out initially, and just kind of go through the chord names. I do feel it's important to make sure you start saying, whether it's minor or diminished instead of just the root notes. So obviously you can just say C, because when you say C, a C chord is already implied that it's major. So you get C, D minor, E minor, F, G, and I do recommend hitting that lower octave once you get there. So you hit the high octave. So once an index finger is on the 12th fret, you know it's time to come back down and play the low octave as well, so you have the open position too. So anyway, yeah, just go through that and just say the chords as you go. Just C, D minor, E minor, F, G, G again, A minor, diminished. Then you go up to the next string where you can hit the C again to have that resolve. Because I know so if you just end on a diminished chord, I know my ear's like, come on, you want to go somewhere. Oh, that chord wants to go somewhere. So yeah, and then you go to the next strings and do it again. So C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. I mean, well, that's just hitting that other octave already. And then we go up to the D string, same thing. So you got your C, D minor, E minor, E minor again, F, G, A minor, B diminished. And then we got C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, A minor again, B diminished. Now, personally, I have the triad shapes starting on the E and A string memorized pretty well. I don't use the ones starting on the D and the G string all too much. I use them more in lessons than I do anything else. So that's something you might want to consider as well. It's like, well, how often do you plan on using all of them? So this ties into why I recommend everybody focus more on understanding what the chord formulas are, how you make a major, how you make a minor chord, and so on, instead of trying to memorize every single shape all over the place. So maybe that's something to keep in mind there, because yeah, you can get overwhelmed easily trying to get down as many chord shapes as possible. So perhaps think of it like, am I going to use this particular chord shape? I would focus in terms of writing things that you like, not instead of writing things for the sake of a grade, like in the college you go to. When it comes to just writing your own stuff, focus on what you like the sound of first. And then, once you get stuck on something, then you can start thinking, well, I remember there were some shapes over here. Let's try some of these things out and see how they go. And try it out. Sometimes, maybe something like that particular C chord, or, the minor shape here may not be the best thing for heavy strumming distortion, but, if you're trying to do like a lead bass thing, you can base something off of that. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense there. So, with exercises 1 and 2, because we're addressing some of those sticking points from what was given last week, don't worry about working on going up this whole thing right now. So just focus on the exercise 1 and 2 today to take care of that. And that's going to carry over anyway. So you get this. But basically, I just wanted to give you something to help you get used to going into that diminished shape all over the place. Kind of a neat finger exercise, I think. All right. So if you're finding it hard to play the eighth notes as it's written out and transferring chords smoothly, go ahead and do quarter notes instead. So let me play the quarter notes first, and then I'll do the eighth notes. So this is 60 beats a minute, and remember, when you go from the A minor to the A diminished, or A sharp diminished, your middle finger is an anchor. It stays in the same place. Here we go. Quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a lot of times when I'm doing something like this, because I'm not strumming, I'll put one finger down at a time as I need it. So if you find your hand doing that on its own, that's totally fine. Alright, so here we go. Eighth notes instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably stop it right there. If you go faster, or if you can go faster than that, totally do it. The main thing with this and number 2, I might as well bring up now, is just to get you more comfortable with those particular chord changes. And I know I mentioned at the start of this, maybe just focus on chord shapes that you think you'll want to use more often in your own writing. With that being said, I know I'm going to have you work on just the specific chord progression by number stuff using the open chords and all that. But I just want to make sure that, you can, I just want to make sure you have the ability to do that if it ever becomes necessary for whatever reason. It's kind of like, so I feel like it's one of those foundation things that we should all know how to do something like that. Instead of like how some shred guys, they can just sweep all day long and play all kinds of crazy stuff. But if and then when it comes to like a simple AC/DC type riff, just like something like that, then they completely struggle. It's like, how is it you can play all this crazy stuff here, but when it comes to the simple things where all this foundation is built upon, you can't do that? So yeah, that's kind of one reason I want you to be able to do that. Plus, when we go further with the theory, when we get into suspended chords and we get more in depth with the seventh chords, knowing those shapes are going to be very important and helpful in order to transfer all the theory knowledge you have to those, in order to build suspended chords and seventh chords and ninth chords and add 9 chords and 13s and all that fun stuff. So, like, this is kind of like template chords. It's a lot easier to like start fiddling with this chord here versus starting with that, because we only have so many fingers and so many strings on the old guitar here. So we have to use other shapes in order to help easily build more intervals onto them and whatnot, versus just doing your straight ahead stacking the notes one after the next, because it's not very practical on the guitar. It's like a C major 7, where you play all the notes in a row. Like if you lay it out on the piano, that's that much easier to do on the piano than this. This is not a comfortable feeling. Not at all. And if we did that half diminished 7, how the ugh. That's not right. What? See, I can't even hold the damn thing. My pinky failed me. Yeah, so like do like a half diminished 7, starting on the B note down here. If you just stack the notes up one at a time, it's not going to work. So that's why we need to play it more like this, which is basically taking, your minor shape, changing that to diminished, and then taking that octave of the root note and dropping that down a whole step. So we have that flat 7 in there now. So there's a practical reason why it's good to know your basic open chord shapes. It's easier to change them into 7th chords and other extended chords and whatnot. Okay, that being said, let's finally give this guy a go. So I'll do the same thing. I'll play at quarter notes at 60, then I'll play eighth notes, and then I'll play at double time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't need to change anything. What am I doing? Haven't. Of course I haven't. Alright, eighth notes now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. On to the shreddy bits. So we are focusing on the strict alternate picking, making sure everything is down, up, down, every single bar. So always start each bar on a downstroke, and you're going to end each bar on a downstroke. So we're syncing up the down beats and with the downstroke, and the up beats with the upstroke. So yeah, the goal is to be able to eventually get something like this up to 240 with these eighth notes being the smallest subdivision. If you get to 240 before Sunday, send me a video if you can, and making sure your picking hand is in camera or in frame, and this way you can just make sure that everything is looking correct and sounding correct before giving the go-ahead to do the 16th notes. So I want to be cautious with this because you already have other habits of how you pick that very well may creep in as you get faster and faster. So just want to make sure that things are done well, done correctly before moving on to 16th notes with something like this. So better safe than sorry type thing. Alright, so here we go with 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. On 60. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. $200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And goal speed 240. Remember, if you don't get to it this week, that's fine. Totally fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Back down to 60 beats a minute. And on to number 4. Same idea. You will begin each bar with a downstroke, and the last note of each bar will be with a downstroke. So we're syncing up the downstrokes with the downbeats and upstrokes with the upbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And goal speed of 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I saw you writing down the progressions to work on. But basically, I think it was like anything with the F chord in it, you practice. Anything with that diminished chord in there, you practice. So just get best you can, comfortable with it. Set a metronome up, be nice and slow. That'll be helpful. Another thing you can do with that, instead of strumming each chord 4 times, just practice going from one to the next, just like that. Just, you know, like the, what was that? The C, 1, 4, 6, 5. I think that was the chord progression. And just practice going. I screwed that up. But just like practice strumming just one at a time like that. Maybe put a metronome on. That's something you can do. So let's say you start at, you know the number 60. So what you could do is, let's say for that progression, or maybe just working on going from C to F. So one way you can use a metronome to help is, yeah, anyway, I just had a thought, but never mind. I was going to say, I think I did a video on this on the YouTube channel, but hey, let's just go over it now anyway. So if you strum, so you don't have to like go between each chord on the quarter note every single time. What you do to make it easier and start to slowly speed up how you can transition from chord to chord, let's give it like 2 clicks and don't wait to change the chord. So you hit it and get ready. Like that. So you got your 1, 2, 1, 2. So you get your hand in position as fast as you can. So you can do something like that. Like say, like go between the C and the F chord there. So I got it at 60 again. So yeah, you can do like back and forth a few times. Maybe just your C, get to that F. Do it again. Do it again. And you can end it there, or you can go back to the C chord again, and then, you know it, bump it up 5 and do it again. So you hit it, get to that F chord right away. You got 2 beats to go from one chord to the next. So you got your 1, 2, 1, 2. So instead of waiting for it like this, 1, 2. Because then you have to change it real fast, right? So eventually, as you get going faster and faster, that's too fast, barely. Let's say 200. So now it's almost like as fast as you would need to switch to be letting the chords ring out as long as possible at the 60. So now you have the same again, two clicks, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Eventually, it's going to get pretty quick on how you change those chords. So give that a try if you know you're having extra difficulty on changing any of the chords. So instead of just going from chord to chord as you were doing this week, and what you did this past week, going from like I think you know the E minor to the E diminished, what you did is definitely a good idea. But doing it with the metronome this way, it's gonna improve the chord changes in a more efficient way. Hope that makes sense. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you again at our usual time, Sunday.